Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my garage. Today's video, as you can see by the picture that you clicked on, is about this Dell inverter and these golf cart batteries against a big Kenmore refrigerator that I got upstairs. What we're going to use to make this video is focus in on my battery monitor here. It actually performs a wonderful feature, which is this. It keeps track of the voltage up and down and up and down and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. I appreciate it. It means I don't need a PC or anything like that to monitor output. I can use this battery monitor. It's kind of cool. So anyway, if you've watched my part number 4 video of my output series that I've got going, you will notice that I had just put together the Dell and got everything rewired for the golf cart batteries, and I'm going to use that as a battery backup for the refrigerator upstairs, and it runs the sump pump downstairs in the basement too. At the moment it's really dry out, so the sump pump isn't turning on and off at all, but nonetheless it does run that most of the time. Haven't tried it yet during the wet season. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we're going to find out, and I'll make another video on that. But anyway, let's talk about the refrigerator, because that's why we're here. If you did watch my other video, you'll see that right here is where I plugged in, or where I did all the wiring and everything and got everything together for the Dell. And this is where she got powered up and she started running. And right here at 7 or 8:30 in the morning is when I plugged in the Kenmore upstairs. And the thing about the Kenmore is right out of the gate, they pull about 40 amps, and that's that big dip right there. To check and see if the defroster it needs to operate and defrost the freezer. Every 9 cycles, it pulls that 40 amp to check the defrost. Don't know why it's every 9, but that's what I've gathered from the info that I've put together here, and you can count them out yourself if you want. Anyway, plug the refrigerator in, it pulls real hard there, and then up and down and up and down and up and down, and you can see my wife came home right about in here. And she left the refrigerator door to get in and out a couple times, so that made an extra long run cycle there. And then up and down and up and down and up and down into the PM. And everything went pretty good. Here's that second pull right there of 40 amps after 9 cycles. Everything went pretty good there till about 7 a.m. As you can see right here, we were down to 1163, it says. And I was worried about the battery a little bit. That's down in the 30s, I would guess, percentage-wise. Don't want to take it much farther down than that. And I had to leave for work, so when it shut off after that pull, I went back upstairs and I put it on the grid. I honestly think it would have made another pull, because that's all it would have been. And as you see, the sun came out shortly thereafter, and we would have started recovering. I think with a fully charged battery, you plug the refrigerator in, you're going to get 36 hours out of it if the next day is sunny. As you can see, it was a partly sunny day anyway, there from the way the lines are there in the middle, but I think it would have held out at least until I wouldn't have had to drug the generator out until darkness here. And I think it would have worked out pretty good. Fully charged battery gives you 36 hours with that Kenmore upstairs. Now, after I ran that experiment, I was thinking, I use those batteries a little bit. They get pulled on for the sump pump occasionally, and sometimes I use them to charge the other 12-volt battery that I got on the floor there that's wired into a couple 12-volt lights here in the garage that I use to light up the garage because, it's all laying around here. Might as well wire it up and use it for something. Anyway, so sometimes I use these golf cart batteries here to charge up the other batteries and whatnot. So they're not at 100% all the time. So what happens if one of these nights, we get some storms that roll through and it cuts our power off. So as you see, the next day was a partly cloudy day, and I actually used the battery here. This is where I used the golf cart batteries to charge that other 12-volt. I 7-amp pull on it there for an hour and a half or so. So that took some out of the batteries. And then next partly cloudy day, you can see where the lights turn on outside here. That's lights on and off. And then here's lights on and off back here. As you can see, lights turned on and then turned off here. Anyway, next day was partly sunny, so I put a little bit more power into the batteries. And then, as you can see, our peak voltage here is getting up into the, with the sunshine. And what does that say? I can't read it anyway. 13, 27, or 28. So that's not a fully charged battery at all. Uh, and this is the next day when I simulated that the power got shut off after a thunderstorm, and I realized it right there early in the morning. So we were actually pulling on the battery at the time with the outside lights. And I hooked up the refrigerator, and as you can see, it did its big 40 amp pull there for a few minutes to check the defroster, and then went into its regular up and down cycle. And it all went pretty good. We were going fine throughout the day, and then my wife came home and got into the refrigerator, and then I got into the refrigerator, and she got into the refrigerator, and we ate dinner and whatnot, and got into the refrigerator a bunch again, and then you had the 40 amp pull here. So without a fully charged set of batteries, you're going to be dragging the generator out here, right in that area. It isn't dark yet, so at that point, you know you're going to need it. But you will get all day, especially if the sun's shining. And into the night, if you're a gambling man, you pull the generator out and you put it all out there and you get ready. And you know, at midnight or so, you can go out there and fire up the generator and plug everything in, and you'll be fine. But you will not get 36 hours unless the batteries are fully charged. Now, at some point, I'd like to swap these out for my, and this is the next day. As you can see, the battery's charging up a little bit there, and here we are, present at the moment. Anyway, let's back up here. So, my golf cart batteries work, or going to work anyway, pretty well for an emergency situation with the refrigerator. I don't know what's going to happen if it was wet season. Like I said, I'd like to replace this with a 300 amp hour lithium ion, and then I can take the 4 golf cart batteries downstairs, put them next to the sump pump with that Energizer 1100 watt inverter that I had, and they can all sit down there next to each other, and the Guiandel there can sit and wait for, with a 300 amp hour battery, sit and wait for something bad to happen, I guess. And I'll also use it to charge the chins up here when it needs charged up in the wintertime when we have bad solar days. I think they will definitely work out better with a lithium ion. It'll be an interesting test, and I can't wait to have it. Problem is you know, I ain't made of money, so hey, if somebody out there wants to send me a 300 amp hour lithium ion battery to test against these golf cart batteries, my email is in the info here on my YouTube. Send it. I'll give you an address. Otherwise, hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you learned something. I know I have. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.